Hello, I'm Greg Sutton, Chief Academic Officer for Hardin County Schools. Thank you all for joining us again on our next segment of Impacting Learning and Empowering Students. Today we're here with our new High School Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, and we basically want to do this segment today because we want our Hardin County family to know about this person in this new position and the impact that she's going to have on not just our high schools but actually all of our schools over the next few years. So very excited about having her in the Instructional Service Department. So I want to welcome Tanya Quarter here today. Tanya, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right. Tanya, just first question here, just want you to kind of tell our Hardin County School community, talk to us about your educational background, your teaching and work experiences here in Hardin County Schools. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, this is my 27th year in education. I'm proud to say 26 of those 27 years has been with the Hardin County School District. I have been a teacher at East Hardin Middle School. I was an academic coach for a couple of years and guidance counselor at John Hardin High School for 9 years. And then I moved to be guidance counselor, then assistant principal and principal at North Hardin High School for the last 9 years.
So I think you can kind of see just in her vast experiences of why we have her here in our Instructional Service Department. She brings lots of experience, lots of knowledge, and I think that the ability for her to be able to answer questions and provide support to our schools has already proven to be very good. So very glad to have you as part of our team starting this year and hopefully many years going forward. And another thing I want to say about this, what did you hear her say? Well, I don't know if she said this or not, but Ms. Quarter said she was the counselor and principal at North Hardin High School, but she's also a graduate.
Yes, I didn't say that, no.
She didn't say that,
No.
So we're going to go all the way back to 1991 as a North Hardin High School graduate. And it just goes to show again that Hardin County Schools, we're producing our own, we're growing our own, and they want to come back and serve their schools and their community. And there's somebody out there listening right now that's going to graduate from Central Hardin or North Hardin or John Hardin. They're going to come back. They're going to be a teacher, a counselor, a principal for us someday. So just another great example of Ms. Quarter and what she's brought back to our community. Now I have to say, Tanya, during your years in education, you're in year 27, you mentioned that, you've probably already seen a difference in how we instruct students. Or I guess I should ask, have you seen a difference in the skills that our students need to be successful in the workforce over the next 50 years? And the reason why I ask that question is, when you think about a career that's going to span for somebody for 30 to 40 years, what they're going to do for their career work, their life's work, those kids sitting in kindergarten, they're going to be the ones we're talking about in the next 50 years. What are you seeing with this?
I think you're right in that the way we instruct and the way and what students need to know has changed over time. Way back when, teachers, I believe, this is how I learned as a student and how probably I started out as a teacher, mostly taught whole group, taught the whole class the same way. And we've now evolved over time, I believe, to where we are pinpointing individual needs and areas for growth for students to where you really have to personalize and differentiate for the students. That has evolved over time. We still have work to do, but that has changed. And then as far as the content, the curriculum changing, back then I think maybe the 3 R's. It's probably not grammatically correct, but reading, writing, and arithmetic. Yeah. And now with what the workforce is demanding and the community in industry and businesses are telling us that our students need to impact when they come into our community with a job, soft skills, hard skills, just work ethic, our standards that Hardin County Schools has implemented. So we're starting those all the way from elementary through high school, and our career pathways, you'll see, we're up to 38 right now. We're listening to our community and what they need from us as educators to prepare students to contribute to our society.
Yeah, I mean, work ethic, teamwork, collaboration, communication, the ability to have a conversation with someone, the ability to be a part of a team, the ability to understand your role within the team and to be productive. I think sometimes we've lost a little bit of communication here the past few years by sitting in front of a Chromebook. In reality is, the way some of our jobs are going now for kids, we're preparing for kids for jobs that really don't even exist yet, is what they always say. But communication is never going to go away, and we have to be able to have kids be able to go into interviews and be able to speak and connect. So I think things have not necessarily changed. It's just how we prepare our kids is maybe a little better and more efficient.
And we've added layers. This is all not to say that reading and writing and math are not important. They have to have those foundational skills, but we're just layering a little bit more on to what we're providing students,
Right.
whether they go to college or in the workforce.
Yeah, look at the pathways. We've got here 38 pathways for the kids to choose from to start thinking about career opportunities. Now, recently you served as principal at North Hardin High School. We mentioned that. And tell us a little bit about your specific experiences at North Hardin High School and how you use that position to impact teaching and learning. And how has that experience kind of helped you in your new role as the high school director of curriculum instruction and assessment?
Okay. Well, the role of a high school principal is so demanding. I think one of my, and all principals are, not to say high school principals have more work on them, but one of my professors in my classes used to say, a high school principal's a job 365 days a year, 24/7. They have a lot on their plates. You're managing the budget, hiring, you're building and maintaining a culture within your school with your students and your staff. You're leading instructionally. You're creating a vision, getting buy-in from your stakeholders, and kind of planning and preparing them to move that way. And so those all impact teaching and learning in some form or fashion. And I believe, I've been told this by others, and I appreciate the comments, but I do believe that my experiences as teacher, counselor, assistant principal, and principal enables me to understand the work and the demands for each person at the high schools,
Yes.
and to support them and maybe help them overcome some barriers. They need more, we all need more time. There's not enough time in the day.
Right.
And so if I can help them in any way with anything that I just mentioned, that's what I'm here for.
The principal at all levels, but especially the high school level, is more than just an instructional leader. You're an emotional leader. You're connecting with all the activities that go on within your building, sports, clubs, organizations, and I don't think people realize the connections that you're making there, like you said, reach out to now, not just one high school, but you're making now an impact for all three high schools. And that knowledge base was critical for us and critical for our district moving forward. So well said on that. And now let's focus on your new role here in the district. Maybe discuss, as the new high school director of curriculum instruction assessment, what are some of your short-term goals, for this position, and what might be some of your long-term goals? And I say long-term, and then I always say the first 3 years in a position are sometimes the most critical. So what do you want to see short-term and long-term in the next 3 years?
Yeah, immediately, taking on the job, I first needed to refresh my mind on, the CTE aspect of it and the accountability and assessment in order to be able to provide the support that the schools need. And then just getting to know all the staff at each of the schools. Having worked at John and North, I do know a lot of their staff, but I needed to get into College View and EC3 and Central Hardin and really understand and get to know their processes and their staff. Meeting our new teachers, our new hires. We have so many this year in the district that need our support. And so meeting with them, surveying them, doing a pulse check with them here coming up after fall break to see how things are going. Also, we've transitioned from a system that we've used for 15 or 17 years, I'm not sure where it falls, the MAP test, and trying to help our district transition to the new iReady platform that we're using. And then ultimately, I believe the last couple years has been hard on all of us. And I know as a principal, during COVID and during a pandemic, the main focus was safety and the health of our students.
That's correct.
So some things took a little bit of a back seat, and just bringing back the focus and those best practices and what we were doing prior to the pandemic, reminding our teachers and our principals and getting a focus back too.
Well, let's talk about that. Student growth is a hot topic across the nation right now. Everybody always feel like, well, maybe our kids are a little bit behind because of the pandemic, or they're not performing on grade level. And it's always our goal in education to ensure every student 1 year of educational growth. That's our goal for every kid that steps foot through our doors. And you mentioned that we made a transition from MAP to iReady. It's a different diagnostic that kind of helps us monitor that growth of the student and the skills they need to work on. Talk to us about that new diagnostic that's in place and what you've been going to do. I guess the process you've been going through to help our schools feel good about it.
Okay. So, you know, attending training myself, attending their trainings. I just came from East Hardin Middle School, actually, and their iReady training this morning, because I want to hear what our iReady representatives are telling our teachers so I can support them. Just getting in the platform and understanding how it works, it really drills down to the standard of what students have mastered and what they need to know. It breaks it down by domain within math and then within reading. And what's neat about iReady that we haven't had before is how many tools are at the teacher's disposal instructionally, from pre-teaching, reteaching, enrichment, center work, how to group your students and maybe do station teaching. There's just so many resources within iReady.
It's right there in one platform.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like
Correct.
in our old platform we were always chasing to try to find, you know, how we could instruct students or what the skills or standards they needed. But with this new iReady diagnostic, parents, if you're listening out there, students are still taking it just like they did with math. They're taking it 3 times a year in the fall, the winter, and spring. We are looking at the data closely to group our students, look at their individual needs to be able to differentiate for instruction. And, you know, by the end of the year, we're going to hope this year that, one, we don't miss any school. That's the go due to any more of the pandemic. Right now, we've had a great year. We've been in school every day. And hopefully your child will have that opportunity to bring those scores home in the fall and the winter, spring, and show you how they're doing. So my question is, do we have a good communication system for the parents to be able to see how their students are doing?
Yes, and within iReady, it has a way to reach out for families. They can actually have the student log in at home where you can see their view of iReady. It's called My Path. It's their personalized instruction, and we hope that schools will send home their diagnostic results after each of the 3 tests and communicate those results with you so that you know and you can see your students' growth this year.
Very excited about the diagnostic, very excited about iReady. I think they provide great support. The company's been tremendous. Mm-hmm. They've been in our schools, they've been in our central office. They provide that continual support, which is something that we didn't always get in the past, so very, very excited about that. Next thing I know that our community likes to hear about, we have 38 pathways in our district. And obviously, being the district assessment coordinator, being the director with of high school curriculum instruction assessment, she works really close with early college, career center, Mr. Robbins over there, obviously College View and Mr. King, and we're just trying to find ways to get the pathways into every kid's hands. So, what role will your position play in certain pathways, and what has been your focus so far in getting these across to all of our students since you started your new position?
Okay, as CTE coordinator, my ultimate purpose is to support our CTE staff in our district. Also oversee the budget and those programs and see maybe if they have needs to improve their programs or if we want to add pathways and programs. Also networking with our community, with E-Town Independent Schools and ECTC. We have a partnership where we meet to listen to our community and their local needs that makes our decisions as far as what pathways we may or may not need here in Hardin County Schools. So that's what we've kind of been working on since I started.
Just getting access to all of our students.
Well, and yes, so that's a big one. We actually have worked with Ms. Slavin to help College View, Hardin County High School, mm-hmm. and our virtual academy students have access to career pathways as well, so that all Hardin County High School students have access and opportunity to a career pathway.
So we're trying to give an opportunity for every kid to be college or career ready, which now is changing to post-secondary readiness.
Yes.
That's our new buzzword now. So if you start hearing us talking about post-secondary readiness versus college and career readiness, same thing, same data, same ways of kind of reaching it, but she's done a good job with that.
Yeah, originally it was college and career readiness, then it transitioned to transition readiness. Now it's post-secondary readiness, which to me is deceiving. It does not just mean college bound. It just means, are you making that transition from high school past it, post-secondary, into either the workforce, the military, or college? Gotcha.
Well, we're one of the largest districts in the state. Collaboration is critical for our students and school success. And you probably noticed as an instructional service department team, We meet every other week, to make sure we have an agenda on important things we need to focus on as an instructional service department for our district, as a curriculum director, how we can best serve. But talk a little bit about the work that you're doing with maybe other directors in our department and how that's going so far for you.
We have a wonderful department, and the collaboration between the elementary, middle, and high school directors has been amazing. It's just nice to have someone else that's doing the same work at our elementary, our middle, and now myself at the high school level, to make sure we're consistent and we have a focus within our district. Also working with the principals, like I said earlier, their job is demanding, and if we can simplify it for them, minimize their focus, and kind of drill it down for what is important, we're helping them to monitor the programs that we purchase. Are they effective, or are they not, in terms of our monies that we're spending with our technology purchases? We are providing them a focus each month with our Focus on Instruction calendar, and that is to move forward in there to model that with their teachers in their building. So I think we've narrowed down the focus, and I think that makes it easier for all of our staff, and it's not so overwhelming.
And with how many new teachers do we have in the district this year?
Was it 150?
I think we have over 150 new teachers in the district, quite a few at the high school level, quite a few SPED teachers that are emergency certified, or Option 6. They're new to education, and we provide a lot of support through our special education department, but also the work that the directors are doing. Ms. Corder at the high school, Ms. Swords at the middle school, Ms. Bronner, Ms. Sharon at the elementary school. It's a team effort when you're the 5th or 6th largest district in the state, servicing 14,500 students. It's a massive undertaking, but like you said, our leadership at the high schools, the middle schools, and the elementary schools, that principal role is critical. And that's why I had you talk about that a little bit, because you know all too well, just leaving that position a few months ago, the importance of that role and how the impact that it has on a lot of kids, a lot of families, and now you're supporting that at 3 different high schools in College View and EC3. So thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate the work that you're doing. And I appreciate you all for joining us again for Impacting Learning and Empowering Students. Next month, our segment's actually going to center around our middle school Director of Curriculum Instruction Assessment. Her name is Kristen Swords. And we basically realigned our instructional service department to provide the support that Ms. Corder mentioned at the elementary, middle, and high school level to help have us a more streamlined focus, be able to provide more intentional support across to all of our schools. So I'm very proud about where we're headed as a district, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.